So today I had a couple of things I want to go over. I was just thinking about quota attainment this morning. I got a pretty standard routine, and that just being like I don't leave what I do in the mornings up to myself. I kind of have a morning that I'll do for myself. By the way, guys, I was addicted to cigarettes and alcohol. If anybody was wondering, I was never like a crackhead or anything like that. So I hope y'all don't look at me some kind of way when you see the when you see the message roll in on on my intro or whatever. But nothing against you if you do smoke crack. You probably don't smoke crack now, right? So, but I just want to throw that out there, right? So I say I use this routine because I kind of transmute that energy from like having to wake up and smoke a cigarette or after every meal, I'd smoke. Those are like my trigger times and stuff like that. So as I was like becoming a better person in life, I use things like working out, right? Eating a lot better, just feeding my body with the correct nutrients. And I noticed that helped my mindset a lot and it allowed me to focus on sales. So I did want to see, does anybody have like a routine that they do every morning? I'm just curious. Like Keith, do you do anything specific in the morning? Noah, do you guys like work out in the morning? What do you guys do in the morning typically? Feel free to come off of mute.
Me, I usually just get up and take a shower, brush my teeth. Um, Sometimes I eat breakfast, sometimes I don't. I really don't. I don't have a gym membership. Because a lot of times I'd get up, get ready and just leave to go to work.
Okay. But now you're working from home, right?
Yeah.
So do you have an office you go to, or are you just kind of popping in the chair?
I have my second bedroom is my office.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. So let me ask you this. So thanks for participating, Keith, by the way. Do you have a set time that you're in that chair, like non-negotiable?
Yeah, usually right about 8:30 when the meetings start.
Okay. So after this, you're typically plugging in and making dials?
Yeah.
Nice. What about
That's
you,
it.
Trav?
I get my kids ready for school, and then so I drop them off about 7:30. And then I come back and get into my office and look at see if there's any calls or messages from the day before, or I make a little list of to make sure like anything I have to follow up. And then I go through those so that I'll know if I'm going to make some outbound calls first thing in the morning, uh, to like new leads, or if I'm going to go back and do the follow ups depending on when they wanted me to call. So I'm usually in my office about 8 or 8:15.
So about 8:15, and then like that's kind of your non-negotiable. You have a time.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, and what I kind of do is very similar to what you guys do. I mean, I have 3 kids, so I'll wake up real early and just get a quick workout and get the blood flowing and stuff like that. Not to just look good, right? But because if I work out real early and I do things that are like really hard to do in the morning, by the time I get to the dials, it's like, what's a no, right? I just slung like 135 pounds like over my head. Like, what the hell is a no gonna be? Or me and the wife will walk, right? We'll just walk. And I found that to be very therapeutic, especially when I first stopped drinking. You have to like deal with yourself a lot. And so like when I used to drink a lot, man, I would like basically escape reality. That's what a vice is, right? That's just a vice. You're trying to escape from reality for me. It's just not that you don't like the people around you. You just don't like yourself. I didn't like myself, right? I didn't like to deal with myself. So some of the things that helped me out was getting up real early in the morning, working out, and then grinding, right? And part of that routine, guys, is getting in that chair and really penciling out the time of day, at least 3 hours a day for clear goals and production, right? And when you're able to just sit down and really base your numbers and your metrics off of those simple KPIs as time, and you're not focused on making sales, it's going to help you in the long run. It's going to build up momentum. It's going to build up, what's the other word I'm looking for here? Not just momentum, but it's going to build up like self-worth in your business as an entrepreneur is what I'm saying. And the reason that I bring that up is because I've seen agents come and go in this industry, right? And a lot of them will sacrifice what they have here with Digital BGA because they're not becoming the person that would make this opportunity successful. They go and they go work for somebody who is already that person, and that person isn't getting an hourly income from them showing up to their business, right? That other person is getting a job and sacrificing their time for a small hourly income. And so what I want to talk about that kind of segues into this is pipeline management. A lot of the pipeline And by the way, guys, before I get too far into this, I do want to shout everybody out yesterday who made a sale. I checked at like 6 p.m. and my team had like 3 sales. And I checked this morning and we have 5. So you guys are putting the work in, man, and that's awesome. So let's give a shout out to Ashley White. She put up 2 sales yesterday, $2,587. Great job. And that's just in one day. Imagine if she, did that every day. She's taking the call in leads. Noah Sullivan put one up, 335.28. Noah must have got that on a follow-up because I did check yesterday around 12 and I didn't see anything up there. So great job, Noah. That's awesome. Then we got James Thine, I'm sorry, brother. 389 yesterday. Travis McKibben with the 1305.96. Trav, you're getting some pretty big premiums, brother. That is awesome, dude. So yeah, great job yesterday, team. But yeah, jump back in the pipeline here, right? The ADD again. So the pipeline that I'm talking about is going to be the follow-up queue. And I talk a lot to people about how we can make our business better, even when I'm not working it. It's kind of just like what my life revolves around. And so when I'm sitting here just talking over with this other person about the pipeline management, I'm like, man, how cool would it be to have a number in the follow-up queue? Right? You guys with me? Like, what if you logged into the follow-up queue every day and you saw how much premium is sitting in your pipeline? Can anybody come off of mute right now and tell me how much premium you have in your pipeline, in your follow-ups? Does anybody know that number? I don't expect you to, by the way. Okay, so
3,400.
And that's in your follow-up queue. Beautiful. And the reason that you know that is because every person in your follow-up queue, you've quoted a specific amount, right? Nice. So this is why I bring this up. It's not really Digital's BGA's job to like track every little metric for us as an entrepreneur, but it's our job to figure out how many quotes we're making per day, right? What our KPIs are on quote to close ratios, and what opportunities are we leaving on the table every single day when we choose not to status our leads correctly, when we choose not to follow up with the leads that are in our follow-up queue, right? That falls back on us. My job and my goal as an RSD is to maybe provide a solution. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm going to show you what I use in my business. I use this RSD sales tracker deal, this spreadsheet, right? I actually never built this. I didn't build this out. I bought it. I outsourced. Somebody else built it and I bought it for $100. I'll share the link with you guys where you can buy this, but I just kind of want to show you guys some of the benefits. Now, these KPIs and metrics that are in this spreadsheet, by the way, my most biggest downfall in this game is really numbers. I'm terrible with numbers. And we're in a numbers industry. So if that's you too, I mean, I would highly recommend making your weakness into your strength and using these tools that are available to you. But stuff like this, right? Status, immediate, graded, GI. For my personal production, guys, I'll go in here and we'll make this like paid, lapsed, pending, right? So you can actually change some of these metrics in here. And that right there will actually give you, if you choose to put pending as someone who's contacted quoted, will give you the number. So every day when you wake up, you can see how much money is being left on the table every single day. Because just knowing that, you have follow-ups isn't really enough to make, to make anybody move, in my opinion. I think personally that just knowing that there's a ton of follow-ups in a queue isn't like, I'm not going to wake up one day and be like, oh, I just got to freaking sweep out my pipeline. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a bad thing. Like, and I hate to put it that way, but what if you woke up and then you saw that number, $100,000 in a pending pipeline, right? That would maybe get me to move, because then I'll start playing with numbers in my head. What if I can get $10,000 out of that 100 grand? That's an extra 10K in AP. You've already established rapport, right? We've already done the groundwork. Now we just simply have to follow up. Right. Hey, this is Ashley, just getting back to you. We had spoke earlier today or last week about protecting your daughter. I just had a little bit of time to get back to you today. So all we need to do is, sign this application, get this thing mailed out to you. And that way you can get it in writing. What's a good address or something? I don't know, however you guys want to do your follow-ups on your leads. Right. But I think that would be advantageous. So, and you don't need to buy like a spreadsheet or anything to track this number, right? You just have to get a little bit more serious about your business And after each day, a full day of production, just go in and plug your numbers into a spreadsheet. Noah, I'm only picking on you right now because I know that you actually do this. How long does that take you typically? Because he'll plug his numbers every day. How long does that take you? You're on mute, by the way.
At most 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 5-10 minutes. And you don't have a crazy, you probably do, but what you send me, it's not like a crazy template thing like I have here, right?
No.
Yeah, so I'll drop the link here, guys. I don't get paid on any of this stuff or nothing like that. I just found this guy on YouTube and I was looking for like a better way to manage my book. Another cool thing about this spreadsheet as well is that you can hire when you guys scale up and you hire admins, you can use this spreadsheet to manage your book. We do have AMS as well. I personally would use something that's in my control, right? Because I doubt Google's going to go down one day, or my numbers are updated, predicated on if this person shows up to work or not, right? You want to have control over your production and your numbers. You want to have maximum control, maximum visibility on that, right? So some of the TV call-ins, you guys should be getting a quote almost every conversation, right? Dials, it might be a little bit harder to be able to tell how quickly we're getting into quote, right? It'll be harder to tell what exactly is in our pipeline when we have statuses like contacted, not quoted, right? To me, that shouldn't even be a disposition in our CRM. That's just a task due and maybe a sticky note. Hey, the cat ran outside, wants to call back, or, now's not a good time, attending a funeral, call back in 2 days. That shouldn't be in our follow-ups, right? So what metrics can we tighten up on as entrepreneurs in this industry when it comes to managing your pipeline, managing that book of business? So enough of the boring stuff here. Well, I did want to talk to Keith a little bit because he recently went from outbound. He took a lot of outbound leads. He really did work his leads, and he worked kind of closely with me on the scripting and stuff like that. And so I want to talk to him about transitioning from outbound to an inbound lead type. What helped him? What kind of advice would you have for an agent who might be looking to jump into inbound, and what you think they should be prepared for on their first day?
I think they should all transition, because for me, the outbounds, I had zero luck with them all. I had 110 leads and I had zero luck with them all. I think I only quoted 3. I got a lot of hangups, not interested, couldn't even do a rebuttal. But I did take 2 calls yesterday, inbound calls, and I got to quoting in probably about 22 minutes, 23 minutes. One lady wanted a $35,000 policy. She was 76. I don't have a carrier for her, so I'm getting contracted with Great Western. The other lady wanted $15,000, and then she said no, she wanted $20,000. And she originally told me she had a savings account, but it was a Direct Express card, which once again, I didn't have a carrier for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be Great Western, which I'm waiting to get contract on with that one again. So hopefully I can get them. I have appointments set up with both of them. So it seemed a little bit easier of a process, because once you get them on the phone, they actually want to do a lot of talking. They want to talk to you a lot. They want to tell you everything. So you just kind of sit back and listen and just take all the information in and just, continue moving them down the script through, forward.
Yeah. So for you, you weren't having too much luck with the outbound dials, but we're putting the work in, right?
Yeah.
So I can see here, I mean, on my leaderboard, Keith, you're number 3 for dials. Travis was number 1. So yeah, and that's out of, I think, 10 or 12 agents here. So yeah, I mean, he was just putting the work in, kind of. And would you say that helped you kind of develop the mindset to go into an inbound conversation? And like, what did that do for your mindset, kind of putting that work in and then hopping into an inbound queue in less than an hour, getting 2 conversations right out the bat?
Yeah, I mean, I never had a problem calling. I know yesterday Jeff was talking about, I think, call reluctance or getting on the phone reluctance or something like that. I never had a problem calling, and I don't really ever have a problem having a conversation with somebody as long as they're willing. So the inbounds, there's more of a conversation, and what really helped me is by listening to other people's inbounds and just listening to the flow of the conversation and what was being said and how they responded and how the customer responded. So it seems a little bit simpler process. Yeah. I don't know if it's easier, but it seems a little bit simpler.
Yeah, just removing a lot of the grunt work. So just to kind of put that like a numbers perspective, what you said, because I do have some sales for you in the queue on the outbound leads. Is that accurate? Do you have any sales on the outbound leads?
I do not.
Let me double check my report real quick. Not calling you out or anything. I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing is correct. Oh, okay. I have one sale but no AP, so that's probably a test lead or something.
Yeah, probably test lead.
Okay, gotcha. So basically the results that you got for the web leads, you got the same results in one day that took you what, effectively 2 months?
Yeah, basically.
Time crunch. So like
And
go ahead.
And I believe I would have closed both of them yesterday if I had Great Western or a carrier that had the, was able to give them what they needed.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I didn't actually listen to the calls, but I did speak with Keith yesterday. We had a one-on-one. So but no, just not to say that like outbound doesn't work. Obviously, I have agents that are making sales on outbound. I think Ashley Bryant, you're on JD's team, but I mean, you're according to JD, I mean, you're lighting it up. Like you're finding some success. So that's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, it's just that it's not that outbound doesn't work. It's just not for everybody. Sometimes we have to pivot as an entrepreneur on our own, right? You don't want to take too much. Like you got to take your intuition, right? Like what is your mind really telling you? Okay. And then kind of pivot into that. What are other people doing that are having success? Or maybe if it's just not working as a whole, get with your RSD and figure out what's the next best bet for you as a whole, right? That's all I had on that. I could expand a little bit more, but I want to try these breakout rooms real quick. So this will be like we'll just try this real quick, guys. It's like I want to role play. Ashley White and James is not, so I'm going to delete this room. So there's two of us that won't be role playing today. Travis and let's see. Travis, you're still doing outbound?
I am right now. I was going to start the inbound next week. So I was trying to get through all the leads that I had already purchased. So
okay. Why don't I put you with Keith? We're gonna try these breakout rooms, guys. This might be great. It might not. I don't know. So we'll role play some of the I want you guys to role play like some of the most objections that you guys are getting. Kind of just, speak with each other. Ashley, grand slam yesterday. Let's go. That is amazing, dude. That's 3, right? That's what you guys call the grand slam. 4. Okay. Damn. Does that follow-ups too?
Yeah, so yeah, one of them I've chased this woman like around creation to get it's like a 35 call follow-up. Because the lead actually came in for her husband's twin brother, who in the process of talking to her died. And then like it turned into her husband and then it turned into her. So hopefully I'll get the husband today. And then the other 2 were actually my husband's clients from a long time ago, but I'm a better agent, so I got them immediate coverage. So,
Let's go.
yeah.
That's right. That's right, dude. That is awesome. So, guys, the only time I've written over 3 apps was because I had like some follow-ups in the pipeline. So, man, today's meeting sounds a little bit fitting. So that's awesome, man. I wish I would have knew. I would have picked your brain a little bit more there. Cool. So, Gregory's kind of new to the team. Welcome him in, guys. Welcome to the team, Greg. I'll just have Noah. I got you with Gregory here. So I think let me see. I think I'll just do that. So I'm going to put you guys in at some teams. I got Keith and Travis on a team, Ashley and Kenny on a team because you guys work with JD together anyways. So I'm going to try this breakout rooms. Let's meet back up in like 5 minutes and see how this works because I can maybe use this tool as a resource for us in the future. So yeah, let's try that out. You guys, you should have a thing to join the room, like a notification. Keith, Travis, Kenny. So out here should be Ashley White, Cher, Greg, and Noah. Perfect. Okay, cool. And it looks like I can close all the rooms here. So Cher, I think she has like still has problem with the vocal cords. Ashley's at a doctor's appointment.
You can talk, Anthony. I'm just going to get cleared. They did a MRI, so hopefully I'll be cleared today.
And it was that serious for real?
Yeah, well, I usually get laryngitis, but it lasts a little longer than
Mhm.
usual, so that's what she wanted to follow up. So I have a follow up at 1, but I can speak.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want to stress the vocals out, any more.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
I'm glad you're feeling better. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ashley's in a doctor's appointment, so she's not going to be able to role play. But yeah, Noah, we can hit a couple objections real quick. What are you seeing right now on the phones? I know you took quite a few yesterday, and you got a sale yesterday. I actually didn't see that. Where'd that come from?
That was a call in, and I had a client that I've been chasing for a while that called in. We went through the medical, and they're ready to go. She just has to get my husband. I've even talked about it. It was also been set up through me. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen in the next day or two. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the one from yesterday was a call.
Okay. When you're talking on the phone, are people still having a hard time hearing you? Just curious.
No.
Okay.
I got better headphones.
Okay.
So
Okay. Perfect.
I was using headphones that weren't compatible with dial pads. That was an issue.
Okay.
The only other issue is I may be dropping some calls. My internet speed is okay, but I don't think that's unique to me.
One thing I did notice, I don't even know if I brought this up to you or not. By the way, feel free to, we can still role play, but I did want to bring this up. On your first order, you had 100 leads, right?
Yeah, right.
They credited, I think, 1/4 of that back to you. So just a heads up. I don't know if that's high or not. Is that pretty?
That's pretty high, because quite frankly, for the first 100 or so, or a couple hundred, I'm just going kamikaze.
Yeah.
Really not worrying. I'm just trying to accelerate the learning curve.
Right.
So, that's something I need to go back and do some housekeeping with. And I'll do that as I'm making follow-up. I have to go into the pipeline. So I got 150 leads in my CRM right now, and 9 of them are sold. I'm not quite sure offhand, what the quoted prospects are. It's probably somewhere. It's got to be better than 60%. So.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of making the follow-up calls. I mean, what Ashley said about making 35 follow-up calls, I guess it works.
Oh, absolutely. Just to put in perspective, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
100%.
I mean, I had called in yesterday. It was based on so probably 3. So
on average, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally all outbound is, if you think about it. It's like all follow-ups. Like, I know we say 1 call close, but chances are if it's in a contact attempt 4 or 5, they've gotten a quote already, whether that's online or whatever the case is. So
yeah. I mean, the 2 biggest objections are price, and I got to think about it. Right. Okay. I hardly ever encounter, anything that is greater than that. Some people have money. I talked to the client yesterday. She didn't really need it. I mean, she already had a crypt. She's going to get cremated. She's a widow. She owns her own home. She's got investments. I got all that stuff in there. And my thinking is, okay, at some point, if I get trained up on it, maybe she's a prospect for an annuity at some point down the road. So, but no, I mean, she had $1 million in assets, and it was like, okay, what do you want to gift your kids?
Yeah.
Above that,
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, and you're right. I mean, that is definitely a great opportunity for a cross sale, and being in the financial industry, you do have access to those products, right? So, that's a whole nother conversation. Also, you have a couple term options too, just depending on the lady's age and stuff like that. But so when they say they want to think about it, right? What are you getting that like directly after the quotes?
Yeah.
Can you let's role play the quotes real quick. Do you do the three? What are you doing, a max offer quote, or are you kind of
I
staying
do.
within their budget?
Yeah, I've done both. And it just might be my own thinking that's getting in the way. But if I do the max offer, I get the sense that they're, recoiling. Okay. So I try to bring it down based on what's admittedly an assumption about what they would be comfortable with. And that's sort of based on the conversation I've had with them, and if they have any experience with dealing with funeral expenses, that's a little easier conversation. If they don't, it's I have to explain it, and I do that pretty much through the scripting.
Okay.
So
So I guess what I want to see is you to have one close
Mhm.
that you perfect. That if I were to say, Noah, are you doing the max offer or are you doing this one? You, without hesitation, I'm doing the max offer.
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to have that confidence in that close. And if speaking too much on the price is going to waver your confidence in your mind when you ask for it, that energy can be sensed on the other side of the line.
Mhm.
You might not think that, but I promise you, if you're thinking it's too high for them, that's going to come across in some form of energy, tonality, right? Cadence.
Now, when you say max close, that
Mhm.
would be the maximum amount available to the client based on their age and their health.
Yeah,
Okay, relative to whatever carrier is going to accept them.
exactly. So with
Okay.
AMM, you have that's your lead carrier, and your placement is off the charts, by the way. So how many declines do you think you've had?
I haven't had any declines.
My point exactly. So keep leading with AMM. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get everybody on the same train, brother.
I mean, I've had a client that, Toolkit said it was immediate, but then they came back ROP.
Okay.
You know,
From something that popped up in the MIB, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So yeah, the max offer, right, is just assuming that they don't want the maximum allowable amount of coverage. And for that, it'll be XYZ. And I would say let's get you confident in closing that max offer and pitch it every time. Like, do not change it. If it doesn't work the first time, don't change it. And I'm not saying don't quote them anything other than 50 or 35,000, but pitch it in a way to where they'll understand that this is not the final judgment, right?
Mhm.
Noah, I would even say this. A lot of my clients, sometimes they might hang up if I don't tell them, or a lot of my clients will switch policies if I don't tell them how much coverage is actually available to them. So Noah, I'm not going to just assume you wouldn't want to check to your daughter for $50,000. And to make that happen, it would only be XYZ or $5 per day. And then just leave it at that. And this is in the script, by the way. Everybody else who's listening on the call, this is literally verbatim in the script. The second amount that we're going to go over is the recommended amount, Noah. Now, this is the amount that me and you spoke about, right? And then recap the reasoning. This is so that, your daughter can securely take care of your funeral and cover part of this other expense. And that would only be XYZ or whatever dollars per day, right? Whatever you want to do. And then I would make them choose out of those two. I wouldn't even go any lower other than the recommended amount. Then you'll go into the price, right? So if it doesn't fit their budget, or think of price, and I want to think about it as price. Same thing.
Mhm.
It's the same thing, right? Oh, I don't know, man. Like, they both sound pretty good. I want to get with my husband, da 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 da. You're probably getting a lot of that, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's say you quoted me 50,000. You left the pause. I didn't say anything. So you moved on to the recommended amount. Let me close these rooms. I'm sorry. Okay. You gave them the recommended amount. And I said, I kind of want to think about it. Where would you go with that?
What is it that you need to think about?
So I need to think about everything, the price, the amount, coverage amount, XYZ.
And, you know, it's not every day that people call in looking for information on life insurance. So, how
We'll
long have
try.
you been- Go ahead.
Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have your rebuttals pulled up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go right to the script.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I hear you. This is something everybody needs to think about, but most only think about it 2 times right now. They can still get coverage later when it's too late, and they might not qualify for coverage, or it becomes too expensive as it gets older. Now I'm going to throw in another one that I came up with. I emailed it to you, which is the second part of this. And it says, I know you called in today because you wanted to take some kind of action. How long have you been thinking about this?
Yeah, I like that. So you notice how when I asked you if you had your rebuttals pulled up, everything changed. That went from dude, I'm hanging up to okay, you have my attention.
So, so this decision has been weighing on your mind, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you have a need, and you do have deep feelings for your loved ones. You don't want to put under a financial burden. Isn't the only decision now what you can comfortably afford?
Yeah, so that I like that as well. In the need part too, we'll talk about this offline though, but in the need part, we're just recapping what they say, right? Is that what you're doing, or are you just saying you have a need?
Yeah, it's like I'm just saying, you know, I'm sort of going over
Okay.
verbally what my thinking is based on our conversation. Okay, you have a need. You know, I'm like checking the box, right?
Yeah.
You have a need. You have deep feelings for your loved ones.
And then hit me with the price, right?
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. So every time. Okay. So guys, how was that? Was that okay, everybody? Not the role play, but obviously with the breakout rooms and all that stuff, was that good? Was it bad? I need some feedback.
No, it was good. Kenny or Travis asked me a lot about the inbound leads. So
Okay. Yeah, I know there'll be a lot of that. So and that's intentful. Kenny?
Yeah, this was an excellent idea.
Okay.
I've been wanting to, this is a great idea. I want to continue doing this so we can do it more.
Okay.
We had a lot to discuss.
Okay, got it. So sorry guys, 9 o'clock. I think JD has a huddle today if you guys are gonna hop over there. But that's all I had for you, man. Thank you guys all for participating and showing up and stuff. So
hey, I have a question.
yeah.
So for the Direct Express card, that expires, right?
Yeah.
So how do we handle that if we have a customer that has that?
So there's a couple ways you could do it, right? First way is obviously try to get banking every time and explain that to them. So the expiration date, Judy, most people, this is why we prefer you guys have a bank. It expires, policies lapse, and then people they have coverage and they don't. So if you do happen to get a bank, just call me with your updated banking information. If not, I'm going to follow up with you the month that your card expires and just make that a note in your account. It's just a part of managing your book, right? So maybe make a sticky note, make a when you put it into like a sale made, once the policy goes into force, you can set a task date for it. So it'll pop up again in your queue. You can set an appointment on your Google Calendar, right? Go to the next year if you so feel inclined to do that. Some people are serious about managing their book and they'll do that, but the CRM does it for you, so you can just notate it right there. So hey,
So when it comes to time to update that, then how would you update that with the carrier?
Just call in with the customer.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can tell them to do it either way. What's up, Kenny?
I got a question. Yeah, so get back to dispositioning the leads.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a ton, way too many contact quoted. These are people that called in and got to talk to my wife, got to talk to my goldfish. Wouldn't want to do my banking, social. I'm getting better at that, but this goes way back. But what I was always good at doing back from my face-to-face days is getting a hard yes or a hard no,
Love it. Yeah.
because there was always no going back for me, because I'd have to drive 3 miles out, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So when I call them, it's not a warm reception all the time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
is there a way to like
Like a script, basically, like, what do you say?
what would you do? Hey, I'm the guy, you know, remember
Yeah.
I
So,
basically killed you in the home and made you look like a terrible person.
right. So keep, well, yeah, I love it. So I'm the same way. Keep that mentality, right? Either I'm the same way, Kenny. Hey, dude, I need a yes or no now. Like, tell me to F
So I
off.
figured there's a 2% chance the guy's going to really call me back, because he's not.
No one's
right?
going to call you back. Yeah, you're going to have to call them back, right? Brian is a clear proponent to that. 35 calls, follow-ups. I love that stuff because it works, right? So what I do is shoot for a hard yes or hard no, right? If they're telling you they don't want it, I will tell them, Judy, look, people don't call me back. And quite frankly, unless I know that this is something you guys are really going to do, I'm not going to waste my time either, right? I'm a licensed agent. I carry a license to sell this product to people who have a genuine need in protecting their family. So my time is just as valuable as yours. With that being said, Miss Judy, we can still be friends if this isn't something you think that is for you, right? And I'll get a hard no. If I call you back on Friday, is there any other reason other than XYZ that you wouldn't pull the trigger? And what that does for you is it actually allows you to overcome that objection. So if they're like, yeah, it's the price. Well, dude, you can still one call close. But anyways, if they say, no, I just really talked this over with my spouse and, that's the case, then set that in there, make that a note. And then when you call, you've already set the precedent, like, dude, I'm not wasting time. And if they don't answer the phone, what you'll do is just throw them in a contact attempt, just get them out your pipeline. So be greedy with your pipeline. Who do you want in your pipeline? You want people who said to call them back 2 days? No, they're not going to my pipeline. I'm just going to put them in a task due, a contact attempt, whatever the next one is, and then move the task due like 2 days, or I won't mess with it at all, right? So I'm with you on that, and get as much information as you can. Make sure it has the AP in there, the monthly premium, their height, their weight. Make sure you guys are taking notes of everything. So when you do go to call that appointment back, you'll be able to throw that information back into the quoter in case you would need to adjust the prices.
Yeah, I need to get better at getting out of the paper and pen and putting it digital, like they were talking about yesterday in the training, because it's just getting too I'm rifling through too many forms, and it's creating a mess. It's a mess.
So make that an SOP for your business, Kenny, because you're running an agency. Who's to say at some point you're not going to scale to have 100 agents? You don't want 100 agents having paper in front of them. You want them to put it into the system. But if you don't have the processes for that, right? So what would that be, an SOP? After each call, before you disposition that call, you have to be copious in that CRM. There has to be notes in there, right?
I adopted a formula.